Hello, fellow hitchhikers. Today we are going to go through a little journey of buying some land in Axie Infinity. From my previous videos, you will have seen me showcasing various teams, and that's in the actual gameplay that exists right now, and trying to earn some SLP in order to be able to sell that SLP or to do some breeding. And I'll do a different video on the breeding, but today we're going to focus on purchasing some land. So there are 4 different aspects to the game itself. There is battling in the arena, battling in, I guess, adventure mode, so there's that area. There's buying and selling Axies, there's breeding Axies, and there's playing on land. Now, land itself is not playable. It did have a Project K, they call it, to have a little release where you could play on some of the land and get a taste for what it was like. It was a lot of fun. And you're collecting resources and trying to build a few things. And there's lots of other players on at the same time. So looking forward to actual land play. Realistically, it's still 7, 8, 9 months away. It's quite a long ways away, but it'll be a full open economy. And there'll be ways for people to collect resources, share resources, maybe build buildings, build structures, battle Chimera. So lots of exciting things. And if you take a look at the land chest sale, so this is the original selling that happened a few years ago, you could get a forest chest, which came with a plot of forest land and some 10 items for 0.16 ETH. And the thing to think about that is, first off, forest plot now, you're looking at 1 point something, 1.6, let's just say 1.6, 10 times more cost in ETH, and then ETH itself has gone up at least 10 times since this land sale was out. So you're looking at 100-fold increase in pricing since it originally came out. That being said, when the land sale first happened, it took like over a year for the land to sell because it was, a game not released, a game not developed. It was an idea. It was a fundraiser for the team. So those early players, early buyers were, faced with huge speculation, and it's already been several years since they've bought that land. So, good on them for increase in value. We're kind of in a similar situation here where the land pricing is still, it's not playable. So it's, it's speculation, it's early holders. Yeah, but let's take a look at, what kind of lands are out there, why you would want to buy land, and what I'm looking at doing today. So first off, when you go to the marketplace in Axie Infinity, you'll see lots of Axies that are for sale, and you can look along the top here, and you can see there's lands, and there's items. These are items that would have came with the lands when it was purchased, and there are bundles where people put together various things to sell them as a bundle. We're going to look at lands, and I have a friend of mine who is wanting to join in on this little adventure. I don't know if that makes me a guild or not if we buy this together, but I think it would be really cool to have a piece of waterfront. Currently, right now, let me show you what I have for my lands. I have 1 Arctic land, and if I look at it on the map, this is the map here. Only 1/4 of Lunancia, this is Lunancia, has been sold, and this is this upper left quadrant. And in this center area is where it'll be like a large public space probably, where lots of special events will be held, or maybe special releases. I'm not fully sure. In and around it, this light green kind of color is Mystic Land, and Mystic Land is very special in that there's limited amount of them, and it's where you'll have other special events, and the owners of these Mystic Lands sort of get a highest proportion of shares of profits probably. And also, if you look at these pink squares, these are where nodes will be, where resources or special battles or those kind of things may be located. These light lines are roadways, and this blue here are Genesis plots. So these are the original plots that sort of everything else would be spawned out of, would be the theory. and I think a series 7 of them sold for $1.5 million just recently, something like that, to Flying Falcon. And as you go further and further away from this center area, you get to Savannah, which is kind of like a desert area out here in the far corner. And of this blue here is a river that goes through. So we don't actually know exactly how gameplay is going to work. I'll zoom way out here. We do know that, we do know that they have said things like being closer to this center is, going to save you travel time or travel distance possibly, or give you closer access to special resources. We know that land, or suspect that land in this first quadrant is original land, and so it will receive special bonuses. We also know that if you own land that's connected, multiple pieces of land that's connected, you might be able to build special buildings that you can't otherwise build that use a larger footprint. And we also suspect that both all three, I guess, the Genesis, the Mystic, and the Arctic, this white is Arctic land, will have a bit of a special place and access to things that the Forest, which is the green, and the Savannah, the orange, won't have. So I took all of that information and I ended up buying this little piece of Arctic right here. And I don't know if it shows the price history of what I paid for it. So I paid 1.3 ETH back in December, and ETH, of course, went way up in value and then back down in value, but that's what I was able to purchase this little piece of Arctic for. I did buy one more with my son. My son owns this one here, a little piece of forest, and I was trying to get us close together so we can kind of share resources, and also wanted to be on the inside of the river. And I believe I paid 0.95 ETH for it a while back as well. And the neighboring plot I almost was able to get for 1 ETH, so that my son would have 2 connected plots. Maybe we could build something. And I didn't quite have an ETH at the time. And I was so close. I was hours away from selling and consolidating. And then someone picked up this neighboring plot, and they have it for sale for 48 ETH. So, that's $117,000 that this person is asking for this little neighbor piece here. So the other piece beside my son's is for sale for 3 ETH, so about $20,000. So the prices are all over the place, $117,000, $20,000, $2,000. The numbers are all over because nobody really knows what the return will be. The idea being that anything you do in Axie Infinity requires the players to do it and costs a certain amount of funds, and those profits go back to the players. And so Axis, being the main token of Axie Infinity, goes to a treasury as people breed, or they do various tasks, and this treasury will pay out back to the players. Thinking, this is pure speculation, that a portion of that Axis is going to go to landholders, or during gameplay itself, things that happen on your land or near your land will generate a certain amount of return for your land. So there is a speculation of potential passive income with the land, which people like. So I have this piece of Arctic. My son has this piece of forest. And so I thought, wouldn't it be great if I'm going in with my friend and we're buying something to get a piece of waterfront? And so when you go to the marketplace and you choose lands, you can start scrolling. And so I'm looking for something that has a piece of water. Originally, I was thinking I wanted to maybe he wants to put 2,000 in. I thought, well, I could go in halfers, so find something around 4,000. These prices are all in USD. It displays, and I'm looking at Canadian. Anyway, so scrolling along, trying to find something that has waterfront, and there actually isn't much. Now, I don't know, will it be better to be on the waterfront? Will that enable you to have fishing? Will there be boats? Can you have transportation along the river? Will having waterfront be an advantage? Both of my lands, my land and my son's land, are on a road face instead of being buried in deep. When I played Project K, It did seem better to be on a road just in terms of ease of access going back and forth. It didn't actually give any play advantage, but it was, once you got into the thick of all the properties in the center, it was like a little bit trickier to find your plot. Okay, so here we go. Here are the first waterfront properties. I'll go up to the top here, click the map. That way we can just see all the plots that are for sale. It's right here. So the center, so it is on the outside of the inner river, but not by far. It's right there. Spleen's Vault 1.75, another one 1.75, and another one 1.75. So there's 3 of them side by side here, right next to the river, close enough to a road. I mean, if I like this corner one, that's 10 ETH basically. So that suddenly becomes $40,000. If I take a look at this one, 2.6 ETH, so it's quite a bit more. 5 ETH or 15,000, 5 ETH, 2.3 ETH. So this would be the next contender in terms of price of getting a waterfront. It would be close to where these other properties are, but I'm not really sure why a person would spend that much more. And by picking this one up, if I'm able to, maybe I'll be able to grab one of these neighbor ones in a couple weeks if it hasn't sold. So this is the one that I'm thinking of getting. It's close-ish to a road. It's waterfront. It's not too far away from the center, if that matters. And it's the floor forest. I mean, it's the floor waterfront property. There's no waterfront that's got a better location that's, worth considering. An area that I would love to get, this one here I keep looking at, this little lot of 4, getting 4 forest areas all together for how much? 3.5 plus another 3.25, like 7 ETH. So you're looking at $30,000, and you're getting all 4 of these connected right on a road, close to a node near the center. This seems like the best deal on there right now, but I don't have 7 or 8 ETH. I have 0.23. So on that note, how do we get some ETH? You could use, Binance or Newton. Let's just say here, if I wanted to get 1.75 ETH, if I was to hop onto Newton and I wanted to get 1.75 ETH, it would cost me $5,097. So I won't be going in fully halfers with my friend. I'll have to. He wants to put in 2,000, so I'll put in 3,000, and we'll see if we can make this happen. Now, Sky Mavis just recently made an announcement. So this is 3 days ago, that you could buy ETH with fiat using an on-ramp. That means you can buy it and get the wrapped ETH straight on Ronin. So it saves you a little bit of gas trying to bring that ETH over. So I'm going to give this a try. You go to purchase.roninchain.com. Now, the Ronin chain is a side chain. You lose the decentralization of the Ethereum network, but you don't have any gas for transactions. And when you look at the vision of Sky Mavis and the Ronin blockchain, you're looking at multiple projects using this chain. Ultimately, it may become a bit of a gaming center or an ecosystem, a metaverse for some of these NFT games that are being formed. And so I really see good things happening with this Ronin and Sky Mavis and the team that they're building, the partnerships that they're making, the long-term thinking. Like, this is like a 10-year vision. And this is ground level. So the whole thing could come falling apart and lose it all. But I'm having lots of fun in the meantime with this. So I'm going to try this. I haven't done this. It may totally fail. And if it does, then I'll jump over to Newton and do it that way. But I would like to try and purchase using a credit card. So the one thing I find odd is it does have the Canadian flag here, but it's priced in USD. That doesn't actually have the ability to pay in Canadian, which is making me wonder if my credit card will actually accept this. So if I wanted to do 2,000 Canadian, I have to do it in USD. So 2,000 Canadian to USD, 1,658. So 1658. 1658. Oops. So it's going to give me 0.68 ETH. Actually, I'm curious, what would 2000... So 689. So using Newton, I'll get 689. Using the on-ramp, I get 680. So 0.009 ETH. But I'd have to pay gas to transfer it from Newton to MetaMask, and then pay gas again to wrap it and put it onto the Ronin. And that would cost a lot more than 0.009. So definitely cheaper than going with Newton. I'm curious about Binance now. If I was to go with Binance, 2,000 Canadian would only give me 0.04. No, it's BTC. I'll say that's crazy. There. 0.677. So even less. So Binance is, and I knew that. I never buy anything is through Binance or Coinbase or any of those on-ramps. They're way too much money. If I'm looking to on-ramp some crypto, I use Newton or Endax, one of those kind of things. So this is price-wise cheaper once I factor in all the gas to get to this point. So let's see if I can actually buy this. I have to sign up for an account. Confirm my email address. All right. Add your Ronin address. Okay, so come back over to my Axie dashboard here. There's my Ronin address. Copy it. Oh, $46 fee. Alrighty, so that changes things. So that's a $46 fee. So what is the current gas in order to put ETH onto Ronin? All right, 0.09. I want to trigger a gas question here. So the gas fee in order to do a deposit is $43. Plus the gas to bring it over. So I'm not really saving too much because the gas to move it over is like $5. Oh, and this is, yeah, US, same as the other one. So this card fee is basically the gas fee. So I'm not really saving anything, but I sure have convenience because I'm doing it in one shot on my credit card. So let's carry on. Card rejected. Please try again with a different card or contact your bank. Yeah, and here's the thing. Like, I've tried to buy crypto in the past. This was last year with a credit card in Canada, and it would not work. I will try one other credit card here just to see. That's a Visa, so I'll try a MasterCard. Oh, MasterCard seems to be working. Okay, we made some progress here. Let's try it. We need to confirm your identity. Please contact us if you want to increase the limit. What does that even mean? What in the world is CRISP? Hey, I went to make a purchase of WETH for Axie Infinity. Got an error message about needing to confirm my identity. What is your email address? Support is online. Okay, well, that was a little bit disappointing. Wasn't able to do that. We'll see if they give us a response back. Let's try and do it through Newton here. Let's make a deposit. See how it goes. Deposit 2,000 Canadian. Send. What I like with Newton is it sends me an email that I can click on my phone. And it just does an e-transfer request. So I don't actually have to copy paste all the particulars. I just tap that confirmation and it works automatically. So it's quite nice. I don't mind doing the copy paste like you do on the other ones. And I've been finding that Newton is still the cheapest. I don't know, like if I was to compare it to Endax is pretty good, but it has that withdrawal fee, but it does have lower fees to purchase. Oh, what was that sound? I just got a ding. Hello, I have sent you an email with a link to a verification page. Make sure your photo is sharp and clear and well lit. Also, we recommend using a browser other than Chrome. Chrome tends to capture blurry images. If your quality of camera is poor, use your mobile instead. Thank for your understanding. Okay, thank you. This is one thing I do find interesting, all this verification. I've done KYC verification on every on-ramp that I've used, some of the exchanges that I use. You know, I'm constantly doing this. You would think, and I think there are some projects out there trying to work on that, you know, any one of these KYCs would have been enough to give me sort of a blockchain identity that I could then use to just verify myself. Having to do this KYC, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, and none of these things are talking to each other, seems kind of odd. Seems like that is definitely something that needs to be fixed within the crypto space. And I believe there are some projects. I think IOTA or some of the different ones are working on that, but there's a ways to go for that because you're dealing with multiple jurisdictions and whatnot. All right, it's having me take a selfie and a little video of a selfie. Choose my country, and now I need to take a picture of my driver's license. Email and country. Congrats, I am done. You may close this window. I had to do it on Safari, I guess because of the blurry picture issue. So now what do I have for emails here? They're not responding to my question here about these limits. So let's see here. Card limits is 5,000 euros per day. I think that's actually a lot of money. 7,000 a day. So that's a lot. So if the limits are similar, that will be fine. All right. How long does it take to verify? Minutes, hours, days. Thanks. Due to a surge in demand, verification processing time has been prolonged to 2 hours. We are sorry for the inconvenience. And maybe what I'll do is I'll send some ETH over from Binance. What do I have here in Binance? I have about 2,000 American in ETH at Binance. Boy, it sure would be nice to be able to go straight from Binance or KuCoin. I wish KuCoin had Axis and SLP. I actually prefer to use KuCoin over Binance, but either way, it'd be nice to be able to go straight from them to Ronin. Now, it's curious when I say that, I'm talking about centralization. Oh, I'd rather go from this centralized entity to this other centralized chain, but until proof of stake comes out and Ethereum can be basically gasless and scale to the demand that the world needs it to be for it to be a Web 3.0 base chain. We're going to be looking at using Matic, the Poly network, or some of these other side chains. But then, and that's the thing about Matic, and that's, I did end up selling all my Matic because I'm going sort of all in on the Axie Infinity thing. But Matic is such a good token because it is focused on trying to connect all these different chains together. And maybe Matic is more of the base layer and future for the internet than ETH is. I don't know. But you don't see Matic available on any of the on-ramp exchanges. It's weird. That would be one I would maybe want to buy back into. Yeah, I have like nothing left in Matic. I sold it all. Well, there we go. It took about an hour and the funds have arrived and have been deposited. So we will now purchase the ETH. So 2,000 Canadian is getting 0.677369 ETH. ETH has gone up 15% since last night. Should have did this last night. Of course, it's dropped 60% since last week. So some things you just can't time. You just do and you're doing. So you'll notice the price there has dropped down a little bit, and that's because of the spread. When you buy, you pay a little bit higher than the going market rate in order for Newton to make a profit. But that spread is very competitive and very comparable. Okay, so now we're going to move this to MetaMask. Paste the address. And I look at the first 4 letters and last 4 letters, make sure it is actually my wallet. And I will do the full amount of ETH. Newton pays the first $5 in gas fees. So doing this withdrawal doesn't cost any withdrawal fee. Some of the other ones charge 0.01 ETH, which is a crazy high amount for gas, because just to move ETH from one wallet to another usually costs around $5 to $10. So Newton covers the first $5. Anything more than $5, you pay the difference. Some of the other ones have a minimum withdrawal of 0.1, and that can be very frustrating when you're just trying to move a small amount. So very happy with Newton for this aspect of withdrawal fees. So we can see that the ETH has already arrived. It's here in my MetaMask. It goes quite quickly. We still need that remaining ETH in order to get to 1.75. Right now, if I was to do this deposit, I would still be only at just shy of 1 ETH. So I still need more. Well, I scraped the crypto couch cushions and sold some ETH that I had waiting to buy some SLP for breeding, because I wanted to do some more breeding, but SLP is looking like it's still going to be a little bit before it does a drop, if it does a drop. Otherwise, I can just keep playing Arena. And I've managed to get 1.6 ETH plus the 0.2 WETH that's already in there. So let's do a deposit. I need at least 1.6. That'll leave me a little bit in the wallet to pay for gas. In order to, now this isn't just a transfer, this is converting it over to wrapped ETH. That's why the gas is that much higher. Gas is around 61 right now. Well, that didn't take long. I got confirmation pretty quick there. So even on the low gas, it still happened. Let's refresh. Caught in limbo land now. It shows as not in my ETH wallet, but it hasn't shown up in my Ronin wallet. This is always that scary spot where you're like, did I make a mistake? Just keep spamming the refresh button. It must show up. It must show up. All right, there it is. 1.83 wrapped ETH. Jump over to our forest plot. Refresh the page. Make sure it's still available. And then eventually maybe we can buy these neighboring ones, but probably not, unless there's a windfall of money. Okay, here we go. Let's buy it. Let's refresh it. Sure enough, there we go. Hitchhiker 42. I think I'm going to create a different profile, basically like a scholar profile. I'll send this land over to it. And we can come up with a little name for the plot for the owner and be able to share that. So my friend is now 38% owner in this waterfront property in Lunancia. Excellent. I hope you enjoyed that, learned some things, and was able to go on that little bit of a journey with me. That purchasing wrapped ETH with the credit card in one step will be great. It won't involve all those transfers and on-ramps and whatnot. However, the KYC verification process and then the credit card fee of $47 doesn't really mean you're saving much money, but you are saving a lot of hassle. I'll still try and maybe do that the next time I need to get some wrapped ETH, just to have gone through that process. But in the meantime, keep track of your towels and remember, don't panic.